Hey, good morning, Blue Ridge friends and family. Thought I would give y'all another quick update. And we're going to kind of move around the mountain and be a little bit inside and a little bit outside. So where I'm standing right now is actually just above, right before the bridge as you're coming up the up road. And so what I'm most excited about is you see behind me the power poles. And so the power company has been back, the new poles are in, and they are starting to work and add more lines throughout the campus. So stay tuned for a couple more episodes. Thanks. Here we are at the up road, and this is the bend in the road. If you were driving up and then you take that really sharp turn, there used to be a little split rail fence. What you're looking at right here is actually going to be sewer pipe. We lost 150 feet of sewer line back behind Washburn and Blue Ridge Center, so that's going to have to be replaced before that west side of campus comes online. And then here's the bridge that you go over. As you can tell, it looks a lot more open today. And what I think is pretty shocking is if we were to make our way down here, you can see where that failed, right? And so right there where that water just took it and crushed it down. And then you see how pretty the creek is above it. But what you don't know is that there used to be a culvert there that blew out. We're still looking for it. More later. So again, we're just below the big turn in the road, and I pointed out a little bit ago there was the that green sewer line that we're having to rerun. But if I turn and I take you a little bit further down the up road, so this is the up road that you would drive up before you make the big bend above the bridge. Kind of where we're standing now is how that creek ripped and how that culvert blew. And so this is actually along the up road. And as you look down, you can see how the water just moved around. And so next time you're back on campus, you're gonna be able to see a little bit further through the up road and down road as we make our way. So you can see how it's split to the right and to the left right here. Hey everybody, I am down at, you can see the gate right back behind me. I'm down at the actual middle field, and the middle field has become a staging area. And so what I'm going to show you now is a really cool piece of equipment that might be fun to drive in the future. But all of the trees that they have taken from up top. And so, you know, this is quite a few yards. You can actually see in that debris over there, one of the column that was splintered, but you can see all the way up how far that goes. And then you can also see the other debris that we've had to move down and the rock work, and then you'll see some more power line trucks. So we're continuing to move things along, but I just thought it would be helpful for y'all to see the trees, right, that came down. So when you look at the in front of the gymnasium and Eureka and Asheville Hall and Blue Ridge Center, and you're like, wow, it's so open. It is. Here are all the trees right behind me. So here we are on the east side of Eureka Hall. You've got Heaton Hall over here on the right, the peace poles right in the center, and then we would come into this side door. And when we come into the side door, you can either go down the half flight of stairs here, or you go up to the first floor of the building. And so we're gonna make our way. And you've heard me talk about those big dehumidifiers, right? And the generators out front. And so then they run these tubes in that are just blowing hot air. And what we've had to do down in the classrooms, we've got classroom 1, 2, and 3, all the way down. 3 is actually named after the YMCA of Greater Houston. And so this had water in it. It had mud and muck. And so what they've had to come in and do is dig out all the mud and muck and then start to take the walls all the way down. And so I'm just walking through classroom 2 now, and then make our way into the Houston room. And so you can see the tubes are through it, and then where they've had to start removing all of the walls. So here we are, and I'll move kind of quickly, and what we can do is we can make our way down to the Grist room and the George Williams. So here we are at the Grist room. They actually had to take the Grist room all the way back to the studs here, and then make our way up to the George Williams room down here, and again all the way back, all the way up, and all the way back to the studs in this room. So we're gonna navigate our way to the first floor hallway under the tubes. It's a fun little obstacle course as we go. And here would be the stairwell that goes up on the east end, or we're gonna make our way down to the lobby. And I wanted to show you the lobby because I know many people saw it full of mud and the tracks through it. And so just wanted to show you the team has done a great job of taking care of the lobby. So here we are in the lobby, and you can see that they've removed the carpet completely. You can look at most likely the original hardwood that's here. And then you can see where those big tubes are coming in the door. And so that's what they look like when they come through, and then they just run all the way down. And last but not least, let's take a look outside so you can see. The view is still here, and it's a gorgeous day. So even amongst the chaos and the destruction, we definitely still have an opportunity to see God's beauty and His grace. Hey everybody, hey Blue Ridge family and friends, greeting from the mountain. As you can tell, I'm standing on the lawn. I'm actually in between Heaton Hall over here and Eureka Hall, and it's a gorgeous fall afternoon. And I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for the constant love, support, prayers, all of the encouragement that y'all continue to give us. We continue to be humbled and grateful by it. I'm so humbled and grateful. And the other thing I wanted to do was to give you an update, right? To give you a quick update on where we are. When we started this 3 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Hurricane Helene hit, right? 2 weeks ago, we said, here are 4 priorities, and just thought I would take a moment this afternoon and give you an update on where we are in those, right? So if you remember the 4, the first one was we needed to put the water back where it went. So water was in the roads, it was running into buildings, and it needed to be back in the creeks. That second priority was we needed to stabilize the buildings, right? So the buildings had taken on water, they had taken on trees, they had taken on a lot of mud and muck. And so we needed to stabilize the buildings. The third priority was we had over 20 feet of a water line break, and we needed to repair that water line so that we could then have water, the appropriate water in the buildings to flush our toilets and to drink and those type of things, right? And then the fourth priority was we needed power restored to the campus. We lost many a power pole, and so we needed to get the power restored. And so here's where we are. The water is back into the creeks. The culverts are cleaned out, and so that emergency stopgap is taken care of. We're still gonna need to pay attention to our infrastructure as we move forward and address issues, but that emergency work has been done. That second one is to stabilize the buildings. And so we had 4 buildings were the priorities as well. That was Heaton Hall, Eureka, Blue Ridge Center, and Weatherford. They've completed their work in Heaton. They completed their work in Weatherford as far as stabilizing both of those buildings. As you can see, they're continuing on Eureka, and they're continuing on Blue Ridge Center. So Heaton and Weatherford are stabilized. They're continuing their work for Blue Ridge Center and for Eureka Hall. That third priority was around the water lines, and so that water line has been repaired, and we now have water in our homes on campus, which is fantastic. We are most excited about that, and we have water back in the buildings if we've turned the water back on to that building specifically. But the overall water line is repaired and the wells are up and running. that fourth priority was restoring the power to campus. And so Wednesday and Thursday this past week, the power company was out replacing all of the poles as you come up onto campus and then throughout. And then they actually came back today. And so they took 2 days off and they came back today and they're here again. So our hope and our prayer is that by midweek coming up is that we should have power back onto campus. So that's where we stand today. I look forward to telling you we've got power. And so stay tuned for more of our updates as we move forward. And again, gratitude and much love to each and every one of you.